All right, so it's update time here. I'm back at Kelvins, also known as the old car doctor. And man, you leave this guy alone for a while and things happen. Wow, Kelvin, this looks awesome. So that's the 430 with the dual quads. And it looks amazing. This whole engine compartment looks super nice. I guess we should back up. And for those people that haven't actually, they don't know what we're talking about here. This is your 65 Buick Skylark.
Yep.
And it is a low budget, low buck build. I think the first video I called it a ratty muscle build. Now this is a 430 here, obviously.
Out of a 69 rib.
Yeah.
It's not a stage 2, and it would have said 430-4 for 4-barrel, but it's got too many, so I had to get these decals custom made. I know a guy, and they turn out awesome. They look like a factory type thing.
It looks cool. Now, really, this whole project started with this intake manifold. You found this at a friend's place. You purchased it. Didn't have an engine to put it on.
No, like I said to him, I said, so what's that intake worth? He says, to whom? I mean, really, how many people out there are actually looking for a dual quad intake for a big block Buick? He wasn't even sure what it was for. So I picked it up because it was there. I thought, if nothing else, I'll put it on the garage wall. And then I started calling around because I knew one guy, Oliver, that is into big block Buicks. And I called him and said, hey, any interest in this? And he says, no, I'm selling my big blocks. I'm going to stick with the 350 Buick and my Skylark. And so he says, but I still have the 430 sitting here with a Turbo 400 tranny if you're interested. So then I had an engine to go with the intake.
Yeah, so then and we fired that up on the floor. We were
Yep.
shooting flames here a couple months ago.
Yep.
And then you found this.
Yeah, then
65.
I got the Buick. Yeah, this came from Ken Messett's. It had been languishing in the pasture for a number of years. It was somebody's hot rod at one point. It actually had a 4-speed in it. If you look here, you can see somebody's welded on a clutch bell crank bracket.
Oh, okay.
And I found a license plate in the floor where the hole was for the shifter. So it's still screwed in there. It belongs. It's good.
I'm just going to walk around the car real quick as you...
Yeah. And I've just been, collecting up bits and pieces. I think the name of the project's going to have to change because we had originally talked about it being the Butt Ugly or the whatever, But I think it's going to get the name Unpasteurized.
Oh.
Because it came out of a pasture, So, yeah, she's... it's a 2-door GMA body. It's a muscle car setup. So... And I've always dug these for the taillights. I love that full-width taillight.
I like that taillight.
So if anybody out there has a rear bumper for a 64 or 65 Skylark,
one thing you're missing.
I still need a rear bumper. Yeah, I can come up with most of the rest of it. So
I like videoing cars like this. I'm hoping that stuff like this, low-budget builds like this, really help to motivate others.
Well, and that's kind of the point of it too. And like I send out a lot of pictures to people I know and stuff of how things are progressing. And, not many of them get the wrong impression because it's not meant to be boastful. What it's about is by dedicating a little bit of your time to this stuff, you can get an amazing result. I mean, to say low buck, a lot of people might guffaw. They're going to go like, how is that low buck? Well, I paid $125 for the intake manifold.
Yeah.
And I've got less than 500 into the engine and tranny. It was a good running used engine. You don't have to send it to a machine shop and have it rebuilt if it runs well. We fired it on the floor. It's about spending your money where you can and putting in the effort. So, like to clean up the pulleys and the brackets and paint them, spray bomb. There's no body shop involved with this. The engine itself, a couple of spray bombs from Canadian Tire, high heat engine enamel. Paint her up, make it look good. Sure, I resealed it. I put in a crank seal, front and rear, pan gasket, intake gasket, and Kelly Solheim gave me some engine gaskets, so I put head gaskets in it. Why not? Because I had them.
It looks like $1 million, but it really isn't. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of time spent by you. It's hands-on.
Just time spent. And so, You know, I do have a bit of a tendency to get a little bit carried away with detail and stuff, and that's my shtick. You know, I don't prescribe that to everyone. If that's your thing, anybody's capable of this.
Yeah.
The fabrication and the like involved, yeah, sure, I kind of had to make motor mounts. This body never came with this engine and, you know, whatever. But it was just, it was pretty straightforward. I had some friends over. Brian Johnson came by. Bill Bailey was here. We got the engine sitting where we wanted it and just quickly tacked some stuff together, and I welded it up after and put it together. The rad support, this was a hideous rusty mess. And all I did was go over it with some Scotch-Brite, leaned it up against the garage door, you can see here, you know.
Yeah.
And a piece of cardboard and sprayed it semi-gloss black. And the rad is a modern aluminum rad with plastic tanks. I cleaned it up, it was brand new, and painted it flat black. I had it lying around for years trying to decide what to do with it, you know. It doesn't have to be expensive to build something, but build it to your taste. You don't have to do it for anybody else's approval either. That's super important.
Back when you and I started messing around with cars, we didn't have Google. We didn't have YouTube. There was no internet. It was just, you know, I used to buy a lot of books and things like that, but, you know, magazines to keep me kind of, you know, find out how to do things. And that was how we did it. It was all hands-on. If you have, you know, I have a set of these, and maybe a phone or a computer, you can find out how to do all this stuff. And it doesn't take basic hand tools. That's all a guy needs.
I never quit learning either. And Google is my friend. Okay?
Yeah.
So even to this day, I know some stuff, but there's always more to learn.
Oh, we're always
I'm
learning.
constantly looking for a better way or a nicer way or an easier way or whatever to accomplish what I can probably already accomplish just with some common sense. But I also wanted to mention these valve covers. So these are the original valve covers that came off of the 69 Riviera, which is what this engine came out of. And I had plans of painting them up. I thought, oh, hey, I'll just buy some cheapo chrome valve covers. But, you know, they don't make cheapo chrome valve covers for big block Buicks.
Yeah, true.
So I thought, well, how am I going to do this? So I glass beaded them in my cabinet here. You know, that's just, it gets lots of exercise. That's pretty much my favorite shop tool.
Yeah.
And you can buy those things at Princess Auto. They're not that expensive. And they came out bare metal, and I looked at them and I thought, geez, you know, that actually looks pretty good. So I just took them down to a little shop here that right by I think it's Air Cooled Classics. It's called Richter Ventures. The guys down there they're awesome. Like I got them to powder coat the inner fenders for the Beaumont, the hood hinges, the latch, that stuff was all they powder coated. So these are powder coated what they call white aluminum.
Wow, it looks nice.
It's very cost effective. I mean, for the price of a spray bomb and an hour or two of my time, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
I take it to them. They do a great job. They're quick.
And it's durable. It's durable. Yeah. It's going to last. It's going to look like that forever.
And it has a good look, you know.
Yeah.
And the decals on there, a friend of mine works at a decal shop, and I show him the design. I told him what I wanted based on the stock decals, and I said, this is what so he sends me a proof after he does the artwork, and I get them to print them up for me and stick them on, and nobody's got those.
And it looks like $1 million. The whole engine compartment looks good. There's a couple other things here. We've got to share this. This is kind of the direction of the build, and it's old school street brawler type. With some, you know, rough around the edges.
Super low buck, yeah.
We can, you can see the ET center lines there, and Kelvin's got some gauges and different things back when, you know, stuff that you would have seen in the 70s.
Total,
you know?
This is, so I turned 16 in 1979. I'm giving away my age. But anyways, so in 1979, what did I want? I wanted a muscle car. And so what would I want for accessories? Well, you got the Excel Supercoil. That was like, whoa, there's no way I could afford one of those in 1979. I'm just out of school, you know. Well, actually, the next year. And then this tack rad, which I think is super cool. It looks like a tachometer, but it's actually an AM/FM radio that looks like a tachometer, and it was built in like the late 70s. And then you got AM tunes, you know. We got, this is a throwback. Make Waves, the little MW. That was the Canadian Tire go-to, and you know, there it is. Make Waves, tachometer. You know, all of these things that well, let's face it, a lot of self-respecting car guys wouldn't put that on their build nowadays, but it perfectly fits what I'm doing.
It suits this build.
The whole idea is budget and kind of period correct for what I would have wanted when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
You know, the wheels are, they're called ETX. That's just like ET/X. They were made in 75 and 76. These are 14 by 6 3/4. I believe they only made two sizes. They made 14 by 6 3/4, and they made 15 by 7 1/2. And I managed to score a set of 4 of these with the Big Boss sports tires, which are shot, by the way, not safe to drive on, but they look cool on the car, so that's where they are.
So the wheels will go with it, not so much the tires, but the wheels will go with this. This is all part of it.
Yeah, these wheels are going to go on the front, and then I've got 2 matching, but in 15 7.5s to go on the back.
Yeah.
With some G60 15s, for those of you who don't know what that is, 255/60.
Yeah.
Or 15. But G60, I'm going back to when I was a kid, you know. There was no metric then. You know, well, there was already when I was in grade 12, but, you know, it's just
this is all stuff that's slated for this.
Fun thing, you know.
Yeah, all stuff that you've collected over the years.
When's the last time you saw a Cal Custom? You know, still in the package? Somebody stole a couple of O-ring or grommets, but
out of there.
I mean, that's just some cool stuff, right? So if I can find a way to put those on, I've also got it's called Tiger SST. Which was an early CDI ignition conversion that used your points as a trigger. And you could switch it back and forth. And I found it at a wrecking yard years ago. And I thought, no, I can't put that on the Chevelle. I can't put it on the Beaumont. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's cool. It can sit on the shelf. Well, it's perfect for this.
Yeah.
Just right along with the Excel Super Coil. And, you know, so it's all of those throwback accessories that I've been kind of collecting, you know,
and it's going to make its way onto here, and it suits the whole build, and it's again a part of that budget.
Well, and you know, I mean, I'm going to be realistic about this. I mean, this thing it probably had bodywork and paint, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, and it's showing its age, obviously, right? I don't care about this stuff. This stuff is fine. It's fine. The rusted out stuff, that's got to be fixed.
Yeah.
It's got to be safe. I don't want to get pulled over after the effort I put in, and really that's all this car is effort. It's not a lot of money. And so I got to make sure I'm going to patch metal in, and I'm going to primer spots. Gray primer will look fine with this silver.
Oh yeah.
It'll fit right in. Well, you can see here where it's been touched up, you know.
Yeah.
Give it a couple more years experience, and I do have the trim for the rear quarters. They're kind of dinged up, but
so that we're not slating this for a big fancy paint job. It's not going to get tuck and roll interior, but you're going to make it safe, reliable, and
you won't catch anything sitting in the interior when I'm done. If it means seat covers and indoor outdoor carpet, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just civilized inside, not rotten, safe brakes, safe steering, safe sheet metal. And when you open the hood, well, you'll be able to see the detail. Now, and that's the thing about that is that there's not a lot of money there.
Yeah.
It's just time.
Time and effort and
the
desire to have.
You know, lessons you can learn off of YouTube or just Googling. People will be more than willing to give you the wrong information, but if you search it out, you can find the right information.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, I guess the most important thing is that if you don't start, you don't finish.
Yeah.
Right? And if you have a car that you prize, something that you care about, and it doesn't matter whether it's anybody else's taste, it's what you like, improve it.
Yeah.
Spend a Saturday and pull your valve covers off and scuff them down with some sandpaper and degrease them and paint them engine blue or whatever color you want, whatever suits the car, your taste. Put them back on and you got a sense of pride. Something's going right. You've accomplished something, you know, and it's for you. It isn't money out of pocket. It's the price of a spray bomb and your time, right?
Yeah, and the sense of accomplishment you get from just doing little things like that, and
Absolutely.
next thing you know, you're driving a car.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to, this stuff can get a guy into a hobby quite easily.
Oh yeah.
You don't need a big budget. You don't need, even though this, after some time and effort, it looks like $1 million. But you don't need $1 million to get into this
No.
hobby, and you can do it
No,
very
you don't.
easily with a, you know,
So much of it is putting yourself in a position where you got to learn,
yeah.
right?
And even the best mechanics, the best body man, the best upholstery guys, they all screwed things up along the way. It's all learning by hands-on, and you can't learn unless you're getting dirty and getting in the garage and.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect first try either.
No.
I mean, it's just, the biggest expenditure is your time, and if it's worth doing, it's worth your time.
Yeah.
So you know, you don't have to feel left out of the hobby because you can't spend $50,000 restoring a car. I'm going to be perfectly honest. By the time this thing's on the road, including the price of a brand new set of skins for the back, the gaskets that I had to buy, the seals I had to get for the transmission, I'm probably going to be in under. I'm hoping to be in under $2,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got some smoking deals from friends and you know whatever, getting parts, but they understood what it is I'm doing and helped out. You know. So.
Well, that's awesome, Kelvin. Thank you very much for sharing what you got going on here with the car. It looks amazing.
Well, I enjoy what I do. So,
Yeah, well, it's about having fun, and you're going to have something cool to drive this summer, that's for sure. Yeah, we have a few cars that are cool to drive, but this one's, I can't wait to see this on the road.
Well, you see what happened was Rochelle doesn't let me drive the Beaumont much. And the Chrysler was getting pretty long in the tooth, so it's kind of going to be in dry dock until I can do some metal work and fix
It's
up
going to
on
be
it.
a little bit before this.
So-
This is coming along, but it's not going to be ready next summer, so
No.
you got something to play with.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll have something to play with.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. We're gonna keep up with Kelvin's build here. I really like this. Kind of a ratty muscle, rough around the edges, but a super budget-minded, friendly deal. Thanks for watching.